So today you're going to hear from Todd and Joni McArthur, and they're talking about their 40 plus year marriage and how they've done it through some really challenging times and what their roles are in real estate now. Because if you know anything about real estate, it has a high divorce rate, especially when one of the spouses is not in real estate. And that's how their story plays out. But stay tuned and hear it for yourself.
Welcome to Real Estate Riches, where Kathy Byrnes empowers realtors to achieve the success they've always dreamed of. Starting her career at 55, Kathy built a thriving business that offers the freedom of time and financial independence. And now she's sharing her journey to help others do the same. Whether new to the industry or looking to level up, this channel is your hub for proven strategies, inspiring stories, and the tools you need to grow your real estate business. Join Kathy each week to explore global opportunities, successful systems, and expert insights to take your career to the next level. Get comfortable, pick a video, and start learning. Your journey to success starts now.
Hey everybody, it's Kathy Byrnes here with Real Estate Riches, and I'm so excited today because I have my friend Joni, her husband Todd, and they are going to talk to us about marriage in real estate. So I'm really excited for you to hear about it because there's a lot of people challenged with this, right? Okay. Hi guys.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Great. So this is Todd and Joni McArthur, and I just wanted to have them on. They were telling me that they were doing this event yesterday and they were going to be sharing their story of how many years they've been together and the fact that marriage in real estate, which is tricky because, divorce in real estate is kind of high. So I would love to hear your story.
Absolutely.
So cool.
Let's go. Let's get started. Give us a little background on what prompted you, number one, to even talk about this.
Well, I offer a networking group on the second and fourth Tuesday of every month at our local title office. And I started it because realtors, we just don't get to see each other. Everything that we do is on our phones and on our email. And and we don't really ever get to commune with each other. And so I'm a firm believer and being abundance minded and not having a scarcity mindset.
Right.
And so we share everything at these meetings and have been doing it basically on like real estate stuff. And I'm a God's girl, and I just really felt God encouraging me and speaking to me to say, Joni, who you are while you're doing real estate is just important as doing real estate.
Yes.
Writing up the offers and negotiating and all of that. If it's falling apart at home and there's friction in the marital relationship or with your teens or what it's like to do it as grandparents, which we're grandparents now. And I just think that
Great place to be, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
Grandparents, yeah. But I felt God nudging at me to speak on something more than just business.
Yeah.
And because if your marriage is happy and whole at home, you're going to do a much better job out in the workforce.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think so too. And Todd, are you both partners in your business?
I'm not a registered real estate licensed
Okay.
licensed or real estate agent, but yes, I'm her transaction coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the household. I retired a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm the full-time cook, which I always have been anyway. Grocery shopper, house cleaner.
Love that.
Everything. So it allows her to do more of what she loves to do.
And I always say I may be Joni McArthur real estate, but I would not be able to do the amount of volume that I do and what I do if he didn't do what he did for me. And we just completely switched roles, because I used to do the cooking, cleaning, all that stuff.
Yes.
And then
I help stage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
signage, all that stuff.
If
It's all good.
yeah,
It's all good.
if we have FHA requirements or VA requirements, he puts up handrails and walls, and
yeah.
there isn't anything this dude can't do. He's
Well,
pretty
I'm
talented.
sure I'm not very computer savvy, but
Yeah, we're
I
still
can do
working.
a lot of the hands-on stuff.
We're still working on that. I need you.
Well, a lot of couples that I know, if they're not at least in harmony with what their business is about, then it kind of pulls apart because real estate infiltrates your life 24/7.
It does.
And like you said, you're God-centered, and as a couple, you're God-centered, and that really is important because
Mhm. For sure.
when I walked away from the lifestyle that I had, I was a newly born again Christian. And I basically said, God, open up my Red Sea and get me out of this spot I've put myself into. And
Mhm.
he did, and gave me the opportunity to recreate my life, and has blessed me so much. So God's a big piece of my partnership because I don't have somebody over there doing all those wonderful things. But man, am I jealous.
God's a big part of our relationship as well. I mean, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for, our relationship with Jesus. So
Yeah.
And we'll
You
get
know-
into that a little bit more here in
Yeah.
just a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had a corporate job before, Todd, or you were working at another avenue?
We started out when we were first married. I was basically went to trade school and was an automotive mechanic.
Ooh,
And in 1990, I started my own business, which we ran for 18 years.
wow.
I left that because times were hard in 08 and 09.
Mhm.
Went into financial planning, working for John Hancock.
Huh.
Good gig. Did pretty good at it for 2 years that I was there, but
He was top sales.
I
Wow.
did not like it.
I never liked it. I was that too. No thanks.
I wasn't working with my hands, so it just didn't fit with
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So then
The difference though.
we've got some life stories that lead us on to my last job and of 12 years. And now I'm working for Joni pretty much.
He
We're
was an
working together.
electrician for a tool and die shop.
Yep.
Oh, great. Man, all those trades, they're critical. It's a dying art, it feels like, because there's not enough tradespeople that we need them. We need trades.
Yeah.
No, there's not.
Agreed.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. And so you were doing the sales this whole time, Joni?
Yes. Okay. So in our younger years, I was a veterinary technician for 17 years.
Wow.
I know. And then I did nonprofit for 2 years. Then I got into sales with a company called Silpata Designs Jewelry.
Mhm.
And it was a direct sales company.
Yeah.
And we went into people's homes, kind of like Tupperware. And
I remember.
yeah, we did shows. And I worked it hard. I was in the top 10 every year.
She worked it very hard. It is a very
Wow.
good business for her to be in.
Yep. I had over 250 women on my team. And I saw what it could provide for us. So I worked it.
Yeah.
But I saw that it was slowly coming to a halt. I saw the writing on the wall. And so a year before they closed their doors, I got my real estate license. One of my really good friends, Janice Wright, who lives in Massachusetts, really encouraged me to get into it. She was also with Silpata and left.
Mm,
So, and I still keep in touch with her today. So
That's great.
it's kind of cool. Yeah. Went to
Well-
Massachusetts last year.
Oh, that's great. Well, the skills that you learn in a direct sales environment like that are ideal, especially for EXP, which we're both at.
Yeah.
Oh my
I think
gosh,
it's important for any kind of sales. I mean, they
Sure.
taught you people skills because
Yes.
when I've been involved with direct sales companies, and I was never a success ever, but I worked it. I just, I was doing two businesses at the same time, and I don't believe you can do two things at the same time. You either give it 100% or no percent. And,
Yeah, for sure.
but one of the things about direct sales is they believe in personal development.
Yes.
Did you have that there?
Totally. And the really cool thing is I learned all of my sales skills in Silpata Designs. I really did. They taught me everything. I basically
Sure did.
took what I did with jewelry and moved it over to houses. And it was, you know, a little bit different, but I learned how to not take things personal. I learned to have tenacity, how to be determined, how to set myself up for disappointment when your family and friends use somebody else.
Yeah.
Things like that, because it happens.
Oh yeah. And to not take it personal,
And
to really
not
just
take it personal.
see beyond it. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
what are some tips that you would give couples that are together like you two are? Because you've had the balance of everything. You've had it where he was working at another job and you're gone all the time. And then it evolved. You probably helped along the way, Todd, I'm sure, like when she needed different things done.
Oh yeah. I mean, there were times with Silpata, I would have to leave work early because there was an ice storm and she
Ooh.
had a show scheduled in northern Michigan, which is hour and a half drive from here.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Are you guys going to cancel?" "Oh no, everybody's going to show up." Well, they're used to driving in it.
Those
so
women up north, they're hardy, man. They are hardy.
It doesn't stop them.
Yeah.
So it's things like that. We work together,
Yeah.
and it's so nice now being able to be with Joni in the evenings because she was always gone a lot with Silpata.
Mm-hmm.
And my job started very early in the morning and I would never be up when she'd get home. So
We didn't see each other.
we didn't see each other a lot during the week, but
Yeah.
you know, we're committed together through our bond through Christ. And we're not going anywhere. So we're together for life. So
Yeah, that's great. That, and it's rare too.
Yeah.
I think I love how you were telling me that you were doing your networking events and you were having a prayer session before. Is that what you did?
yeah, we did.
Tell us a little bit about how you do that.
Well, we just start the networking group at 10 with a devotion and prayer, and then we network from 10:30 to 11:30. So we have been through so much crap in our 44 years. We'll be married 44 years, May 16th of this year.
Nice.
And we have been through a lot of lows, a lot of highs, but a lot of lows as well. But they've been really good for us. You know, sometimes to have adversity in your life, you don't ever welcome it.
Sharpened us.
But it has, I always say it didn't define us.
Humble.
It didn't define us, but it refined us.
Yeah.
So it was really good for us.
Some of your biggest sucker punches have your greatest gifts.
It's so true.
Yeah. You just have to be willing, even though you get knocked down, you can't allow yourself to stay there. You got to stand up and you got to start figuring out what was the gift. And I think an important thing, something I learned years ago, was how to forgive when you don't want to.
How to forgive, how to expect nothing, appreciate everything. I have all these Joniisms of they give me an awesome opportunity to extend grace. I use that all the time. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a hard life, but it's been a good life.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of couples out there that don't have that partnership within their marriage. Like you two have clearly got a partnership.
Yeah.
What would you say to some of them? Like it's either the husband's gone doing it all the time, but a lot of times it's the wife that really takes on more of the real estate roles in what I'm seeing. And that seems to really wear on a relationship. What would be some suggestions that you would have for them as a couple?
Well, as a man, Joni's been in real estate for over 10 years, so it's not like this is new. I just had to up my game at the house. I mean, she's busy, and if we need to hire something done, we hired it done, but we just never done that. I think I've
Self-doers.
always, the home front has to be taken care of. I mean, no matter what. I mean, we have a small farm, so there's a lot of lawn to mow and
I tend to be
flowers and
picky. I like a clean house, and
yes, very much.
it would like stress me out if I hate clutter, and I like a tidy house. And so he takes care of that, and I don't
I
have to
do.
worry about it.
Well, there's a lot of couples that don't have that harmony. So that's kind of what I'm asking. How would you kind of give them some? I know that your faith is powerful in keeping that harmony, and not a lot even have faith. So, but they're still trying to do it. They got young kids running around. The mom, I know in my own case for my mother, my father did not participate in anything. He was struggling in his own
Yeah.
health issues and stuff. So my mom's running around as a real estate agent 24/7, had teenage girls who were not taking care of things. She'd come home, no food on the table, no house cleaned, and feeling really exasperated. What would you say
Oh, boy.
how to pull things back, for couples?
Well,
That's where you have to share.
Well, and we kind of have departments, like I'll say to him, he'll mention something and I'll look at him and I go, "Ah, it's not my department." But I get it with kids. The thing that I can attest to is that we spend a lot of time making sure that we're mentally healthy, because it's a lot of work to be mentally healthy. Really is.
It is.
And you have to be able to identify what voice you are listening to and who it's coming from. And we've just really learned that, again, not to keep pounding our faith, but to be honest with you, for all of you that are listening, that is the only reason we are together.
That is the truth.
And we went through so much stuff in our life that
We shouldn't be
statistics
together.
would show that we would be married to somebody else or single, because we went through some crap. And one of the things was, not to get into all of it, but like we went through 8 years of financial devastation prior to getting into real estate. And we just saw how God provided, and we grew up. I feel like we grew up spiritually during that time, but it's because we leaned in and we didn't fight it. We leaned into it and we said, instead of, why is this happening to us? We said, what are we supposed to be learning through this? Because
that's what I'm talking about.
Our pastor always says, in life, you're either going into a problem, you're in the middle of a problem, or you're coming out of it.
Yeah.
And that's
So
just
true.
life. That's life. And so whether you're in real estate or you're in nursing, whatever you're in, that is just a reality of life. And so we really honed in our skill, because during those 8 years of financial, where are we going to get the money for a gallon of milk, or are we going to lose the farm?
Yeah.
We saw miracles. And we saw true miracles. Yeah, we really did. We had a tornado come through and we needed a new roof, and we walked around the house.
In the spring, we walked around the house. We knew it needed to be done, but we walk around our house, we pray around it, and
I had my little sheet and I'm writing down everything that needs to be done.
We need a new roof. No, I know.
I said, where are we going to get the money for that? And Todd said, Joni, just write it down. God's going to provide. That was Tuesday. On Saturday, we had some friends come over that were very good friends at that time. And
Still are.
Yeah, still are. And we get together once a month and do dinners, and they knew what we were going through. So everybody brought a dish to pass. and what they wanted to drink. It was a Saturday. We had my niece here picking up her dog, and we live up on a hill, and we have a beautiful farm field across from us. And when it storms, you can literally see that storm marching across from that field. And I said to Todd, looked out the window as he was in the kitchen cooking, and I was finishing setting up the table and talking to our niece, and he goes, do we have a storm coming? He goes, wow, look at that storm coming across the field. And I go, they didn't have any watches or any warnings. It was a beautiful sunny day.
About this time of year in April.
Yeah, it was. And he started to see rotation in leaves.
Well,
and pine cones
it was hailing.
Yeah.
And it was up against the south side of our house. Then it was on the west side. And then it was pounding our north side of the house. And we watched it had to have been a 150-year-old blue spruce pine tree blow down, hit both our cars. We were on our way to the basement at that time. And there was a little twin-tail tornado that passed right over our house.
So we get out of it's over in an instant.
Yeah.
And we get out of our basement and we walk outside, and just golf size hail is all over our yard. And so was the roof. Not kidding. So was the roof. So that was an answered prayer in 5 days. And we got a new roof. We got new siding. We had really ugly old steel siding, and that was like not even on the list to change. We got new siding because it had all kinds of dents in it. We got a new front porch, and we got 4 new shutters, and we paid $0. We didn't even pay 10 cents.
Wow. Wow. I love that story.
I mean, we've got so many of them that happened during that time that just really confirmed that, yeah, this really stinks what we're going through, but he's providing. He is providing. So it really strengthened our faith.
Yeah. And I think that's really it. What you're building your life on, what's your foundation? For me, my foundation is my faith, my Jesus, so it is my foundation of which everything happens. Yes, there's sucker punches in life. Everybody gets them. But it's up to us to, like you said, which voice are you listening to?
Exactly.
Are you being directed by a dark path or a light path? And that's really kind of how to think about it.
Exactly. Real estate or whatever profession you're in, if you're married, you know that it's work. It's work. And
commitment.
One thing that Todd and I learned through some other storms in our life is that we took the word divorce out of our vocabulary.
Yeah, we did.
And it wasn't a matter of if we were going to work it out. It was a matter of how we were going to work it out. And there's so many times, you get 2 different people that are living together and have different ideas and are raised differently, and you can get in some pretty nasty arguments.
We are so opposite. It is crazy.
Terrible.
We are complete and total opposites.
We are.
But we love each other so much. This is crazy.
That's great. That's great. Well, I think that's really the foundation for a lot of people that are going through those tough times is you just got to sit down and you got to be willing to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with a mindset of, like you said, there is no topic of divorce. It's what's the solution? How do we figure this out? We are very different. Do we go to counseling? Do we do whatever we need to do to make it work?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We've been through our several counselors.
Oh, yeah. Very much.
We're not afraid to ask for help. That's for sure.
No.
Yeah. And I think that's important. Everybody
can't do life alone.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a tougher road.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a tougher road. Any other tips you want to share? I
don't know. Think about that. I will too.
Well,
always have to do, as a man, your wife always appreciates a date night, just spontaneously. And
Even after 44 years.
even after all these years,
we still want to be pursued.
yes, you do, and I appreciate that. But we started a new app. It's a calendar that our son turned us on to. So now we share everything. So I know where she's at, she knows where I'm at, which is really cool because I know that I can like, poop, I'll throw a date night in there. So we're gonna here's where we're going, and she'll block it out so she doesn't do real estate.
Yeah. That's great. I love that idea.
Yeah, you got to take time for each other.
Yeah.
And, when you're working together all the time, you have to have those downtimes of when you are not working.
When you're a couple, not a working
where you can
couple.
relax. Yeah, where you can just be Todd and Joni and not Joni real estate, Todd transaction coordinator, cook,
Right.
laundry, all that stuff.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
Right. Jack of all trades. Well, this has been great, guys. I really know that this is going to benefit lots of couples who are going to say, I haven't worked on that. We need to work on that. We got to fix this because they don't want to, especially if you got kids, you want to fix it, and it's easy to let things just slide and go in a bad direction. That's the easy,
Absolutely.
hard path. If that makes sense.
And in all transparency, like we were married young. We got married. I was 20, he was 21. We were high school sweethearts.
We were.
And
loved each other way back then, even.
Yeah, we did.
It's amazing.
But the struggles that we have gone through financially, finances are the number one reason why couples get divorced. And we were married 7 years, had 2 kids. We had bought our first house and had lived there for like 5 years. And Todd went down a different path that was different from a family path. And it was really, really hard. And the kids,
dark, deep and dark.
Yes.
Probably won't get into too much of that, but anyway, that's where God brought me.
We've all been there.
God brought me to my knees through that situation, and that's where I actually found him. So it was my life and our life a few years after that has never been the same since.
Yeah.
Never.
And we were actually separated for 2 years and got back together within 2
Love
weeks.
that.
Yeah.
See, that's real right there. And that's what, because you in the beginning, it just sounded like you're this perfect couple. No, you've had your struggles. And I'm not talking just financial struggles. You've had relationship struggles, but and even though you were separated, you worked to come back. And, even when we have our own mistakes in our path of our walk, the fact that God was there, you were probably praying for him to have an awakening and having God surround him.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling back then, to be honest. Just so mad at him for what he was doing.
And yet,
you go through it. You're young. We were in our 20s. You stop and think about that. We got married at 20. I was 20. So when this started happening, I was only 27. I mean, we were young.
Well, think about, we're babies. You're babies then. We were. In reality, your baby's on life. Shoot.
And we had babies.
Yeah.
We had small kids.
You fought for your family, is what you did. You fought for your family.
We did. And, real estate wise, we were married in 81 and we bought our first house in 84, sold that and rented for a bit while we were getting back on our feet from our separation. And we bought some apartments. We bought 5 houses and 10 units. And part of our demise were the apartments.
Really?
Yeah, it was. We live in the Grand Rapids, Michigan area, and we had you probably heard of Gibson's. It's like an appliance.
Frigidaire.
Yeah. It's had several names.
Local company. There was over 5,000 people employed to that company.
Yeah, they were our
One
main
way or another.
employer.
We had just bought them a year before, and they announced their closing shop and
And
Ooh.
that was
moving out. And things were okay then, but it just progressively got worse and worse and worse.
And that's when all of the lenders were doing 100% financing,
Oh my goodness.
no money down,
I
and
couldn't find a renter.
yeah, it was bad.
And the renters I lost were terrible renters.
Ooh.
They're buying houses. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, yeah.
And then, there was unfortunately a lot of repair that needed to be done that wasn't disclosed when we purchased them. And we had a saying back then of, there's a hole in the bucket, dear Lila, dear Lila. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Lila, a hole.
Those apartments were draining us.
Oh, they were draining us. And that was part of our financial issue. And then he had a company that he ended up having to shut down because of the road. He had it for 18 years.
Yeah, 08, 09 took a toll. It really did.
Yes.
There's nobody doing anything, even hardly fixing their cars at that time. But
But
Well, nobody had any money. Money was
I know.
tight.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Well, this has been great, guys.
So-
I think there's a lot of life lessons here.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We got caught in a perfect storm back then, but
Worked it out.
it was really good. It was almost like God drew us out into the desert to be able to find ourselves.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was kind
I
of
love
cool.
it. Yeah. Yeah, because you can see it all over your faces. You're a happy little couple.
Well, thank you.
That's
Most
great.
of the time, yeah.
Most of the time. I'm
Yeah,
sure there's still
disagreements
bumps,
every now and then, but
but if you've gone through that, you can work anything out.
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, guys, for being on here today. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking us.
So if you guys like this, man, stay tuned for more. But weren't they wonderful? I just love the lessons that we learned here. And I hope that if God's not in your life, we're praying for you, because it's changed my life and I know it's changed their lives, and he can change yours too. So stay tuned, subscribe below. We got a lot more coming. Thank you. So thanks for joining me on this episode of Real Estate Riches. Wasn't that great? I'm sure you got a nugget or two. I know I did. So if you liked it, please subscribe below, share it with everybody, make some comments. We really find that invaluable. And if you're thinking that you would love to talk about this a little bit more, let's schedule a business strategy call. I'll have the link below. And let's see if we can't mastermind together and see if we can empower each other. That would be great. So until next time, signing off. Hope to see you on the next one.